Hello, my name is Octavian Noz. I'm going to review a season 5 episode of SpongeBob called Friend or Foe. Oh, let's get this out of the way. I'm not reviewing the patchy segments because I just want to review just one of this episode. But you guys probably noticed that I didn't review the patchy segments of Heavy Seas near Dungeons & Dragons because there weren't no patchy segments. But anyway, let's get on with the show. That's what I do, catfish. You don't forget it. Wait a second. Let's go. Okay, in this episode, Plankton plays his usual schemes, but fails to get the formula. And SpongeBob questions why did Plankton keep stealing the formula, and then Mr. Krabs tells him a story about it. Later in the episode, it was revealed that Mr. Krabs' story was not true, so Plankton tells his story. But it ends up that Plankton's story wasn't true too. Get it? True, too. So it's almost so like. Karen tells the true story. She said that they're both lies, but those placed in the 1950s or 60s or something. How do you expect them to know them? Also, the people that fish that are featured in this episode is actually one of those background fishes, but they still look young. If that case, if they were around with where Mr. Krabs and Plankton were young, then they might be 50 or 60 years old. So anyway, Plankton tries to steal his formula, and then the episode ends on a wild goose chase. Let's talk about my thoughts on the plot is, I think the plot shows a nice backstory about Plankton's and Mr. Krabs' life as friends to enemies. And the twist where Mr. Krabs and Plankton's stories was not true was great. The story just have a very nice flow. In fact, I heard that this special has probably one of the best flow to a special that I have ever seen. So the story will get a 9.5 out of 10. Now let's start the characters. Let's first start with the two main characters of this episode, Mr. Krabs and Plankton. For more than an episode, Mr. Krabs isn't surprisingly not that bad in this episode. I'll probably argue that it's probably his more better post-movie appearances. He feels so pre-movie this episode. Not very pre-movie, but so pre-movie. Not very. When I mean so pre-movie, it's like he's sort of pre-movie, but not all pre-movie. Plankton's also great in this episode, and I like his child self. In fact, I also like Mr. Krabs' child self also. But who I think which character was better in this episode? Honestly, I think Mr. Krabs was better in this episode than Plankton, because Mr. Krabs in this episode is more interesting than Plankton. But not gonna lie, both of them are still great. Let's go to, even though Old Man Jenkins doesn't appear that much in this episode, he's fine. But what I noticed is that his skin was different at the middle. In the beginning he was green, but in the middle he was white. Also, he wasn't alive in that episode, but in former Bob Season 12, Episode 1, he was alive. So, I don't know if Karen's story is fully correct. Because, what if Old Man Jenkins was a zombie? I went on this for way too long. But overall, he's fine. Not much I could say. Her voice is different this episode because she was younger in this episode. But she's a caring mother who, for some reason, dressed her son up with a clothes rag. I mean, does she have any money to afford? No, she does not. Because Mr. Krabs was amazed when he started questioning what is that. Meaning that his family had never heard of a dollar before. SpongeBob is just alright in this episode. I mean, it's not bad, but he's not good either. He's just mediocre. He doesn't appear that much in this episode. He appeared some bits of this episode, and his bits were mediocre-ish. Except for the first one and the last one. Now the young kids, they're pretty great. They're probably one of the best cartoon bullies. They're funny and have memorable lines. No, I'm not gonna say they have memorable lines, but lines. I mean, those kids bully has memorable designs and pretty funny moments for worry about them. So I give the characters and also 9.5 out of 10. Hold on, try to see what. Next is the animation. Unpopular opinion here, but to my opinion, Season 5 has worse animation than Season 4. I just wanted to get this out of the way. Because some episodes animation don't look that good. But this episode is an exception. The animation is gorgeous. And the animation lets the character has emotion. I mean, have emotion. Why I keep messing up in these videos. So I'll give animation a 9 out of 10. So, story 9 out of 10. Characters 9 out of 10. Animation 9. You know what it is. It's a 9.5 out of 10. This episode is amazing. And I recommend you, if you're gonna watch Season 5, this is the episode I recommend. This is the first episode of Season 5 anyway. And for the first episode of, honestly, probably the weakest out of the first 5 seasons, it's a great start. See you next video.